Hi everybody, I'm Joey Paul and I'm an indie author and welcome back to my channel. I write young adult fiction across a variety of genres, and if you think that might interest you, then think about subscribing below. I know a lot of people have talked about taking an idea and putting it into a plan or the like. I thought that today I would talk about the step before that one, when you're trying to brainstorm your ideas into something that will even come close to a plot. So number one, start with the basics. When I first get an idea, I usually have something like a plot or the characters. It's rare that I have both from the start. So when I'm brainstorming, the best thing I can do is work out what I do have and then work on getting what I don't. So like for a recent project, I had the location and two of the characters. I had no idea of the plot, bar the remnants of a dream that sparked the idea. And I didn't have any idea of the genre or the like, so I took those basic ideas and ran through some very basic plots. Like, did I want there to be a mystery element or a thriller, or was it going to be something else entirely? It was obvious to me that there would be some sci-fi elements because of said location. I knew that it wouldn't be in contemporary times because the location is very different to how it is in the book. So I was able to go from the basics of location and narrow down a time period, and from there I went to the characters. I knew two names, two characters, and I kind of had some idea of what their relationship was like. So from there I was able to work out that they would be important to each other and that it would very much matter that they be close in age and location and all of the rest. Which leads to number two, flesh things out. I had my idea pretty much down. I knew some of the plot, or at least I knew the ideas of what could happen depending on what genre I wanted to go with. Next step has got to be fleshing things out. For this I will do a lot of planning in a note file, typing out bits and pieces and seeing if they go together. Using the idea I did before, I took those characters and I gave them a description, and I got to know their wants, their ideas, what they wanted to achieve in the book and where the plot would take them. I took a location and I honed in on what I wanted it to be and how I wanted it to serve the plot. This project was one of the very first times my home area wasn't actually included, so I made sure that I had a pretty good grasp of the area and what that meant. Fleshing out every little detail was important, not because I would necessarily use everything, but because then I had some kind of idea when drafting how said characters and plot would work for me. As you all probably know, I'm a mix of a pantser and a planner, and will do more discovery writing during the drafting, but I still need to have a pretty good grasp of the individual characters and plot beats to be able to pull that off. So if I have an idea, I need to spend a good long time fleshing it out. Yes, some projects need more, others need less, but generally speaking, I will do this with every single project. I want to be sure that when I sit down to write, I at least have some idea of what needs to happen, why, and when. Number three, make sure you have something solid. It's this step that planners will really focus on. They need something solid to be able to make their plans. I need it to be able to have some idea of what I'm doing, but I don't need to know everything to be able to work on my chapter plan. A lot of the time I don't know everything when it comes to sitting down and trying to put things in order, and I'm okay with that. It's how I work, and that's great. But if you're someone who needs to spend more time in step two so that this step doesn't leave you completely stumped, there's nothing wrong with it. Having a solid foundation is imperative to a work being finished for some writers, and that's completely valid. This step doesn't usually take me too long because of how I work, but when it comes to revision, and that's where I really very much plan, then it will take a while trying to work out what needs to stay, what needs to go, and what needs to be tweaked to make sure everything works well. You can take however long you need to move past this step, and don't let anyone tell you differently. Number four, play what if when stuck. This step is optional. There are some times when brainstorming where you will need to know everything, and there are other times where you can leave that to be solved when drafting. If there's a part of the plot that isn't working for me, then I will play a game of what if. Like, what if instead of this person being the killer, it's someone else entirely? Or what if these two characters got together and it was all sunshine and rainbows? You can get the picture. Sometimes when brainstorming, it can be a good idea to have a game of what if, just to see what you come up with. You never know what your writer brain might say, and it might be something that's beneficial to the plot as a whole and something you couldn't have come up with otherwise. Now, because I discovery write the majority of my draft, I do this a lot while drafting, and I found it to be a great tool. It doesn't always work, but the times that it does are golden. To use this as a way to help you come up with ideas and see how they fit your story. And number five, keep notes on everything. I know this one seems kind of obvious, but make sure that you keep notes on everything. You can do this digitally or by hand, but just make sure there's somewhere you can access them easily and often. I used to do it by hand, but with my disabilities making that next to impossible, now it's all typed up and saved in a few different places so I can access it from my computer, my tablet, my phone and such. Making notes and keeping hold of them helps because you never know when you might get stuck and need to refer back to them. It's also a good idea to continue recording ideas in that place too. That way when you're ready for a new project, you have a file full of them and you can pick and choose and go through the process again and again until you find one that works. It's really easy to do and it saves you a whole lot of hassle in the long run. So there we go, those are my 5 tips or steps really when it comes to brainstorming ideas. It's something that I found that really works for me, and it's something that I found that really helps me beef up my ideas when I'm ready to start drafting. Everybody has a different process and that's completely valid, but this is what works for me. So how do you brainstorm ideas? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's all I've got time for today. If you want to support my channel, you can comment, like or subscribe. I post new videos on Thursdays. You can find me all over social media and my books are available everywhere, and you can also sign up for my newsletter. And don't forget to pick up Cramming Chronicles: The Second Pang, which is the second in a young adult urban fantasy series. And also don't forget to grab a ticket for Author City in Birmingham in July 2023, where I'll be signing books. All the links for which are listed below. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep writing. Bye.